Hey everyone. Oh, yeah. I should have fixed that first before starting. So sorry. I want to talk about, hopefully, I can make this video short, right? One hope so. But let's see. I want to talk about self reflection. This is something I do every single year in the month of September, and then it continues into the month of October. So, self reflection is just to give you a quick example, from the first few days of September to the last few days of September, I sit down and I analyze from September of last year all the way to September of this year. And I go month to month to month. I take a look at my habits. I take a look at my train of thoughts. I take a look at any specific event that could have happened or happened. I also take a look at my goals. I take a look at uh, certain patterns. And then I sit down and then I'll analyze, well, the year before that or 2 years before that, depending on what I'm looking for. And, and if there is a pattern there, well, is this pattern good for me or is this a bad pattern? And then if it is a good pattern, well, how is it helping me in my life? And then if it's a bad pattern, then now, okay, this is the way it is hindering me in my life, with my family, and whether it's doesn't always have to be magical, is what I'm saying. There are certain habits and patterns that we have that it's more on the physical aspect of family and friends, home, work. So this is things that I look at. I literally take the whole month of September and I just sit down and I analyze and I just reflect internally. And then of course the type of questions that I would ask myself is, okay, well, first of all, what were my goals? And then I'll write them down. Uh, you know what? I know I always take a Of course, your reflection questions could be anything that you want. And if you're not sure what type of questions you think that is important to you, you're always welcome to you're always welcome to like Google or something like that and just ask self-reflection questions. And I'm pretty sure it will give you a whole list of things that you can ask yourself. But for me, I ask myself like my goals for the year. Did I live the balanced life? Were my goals achieved? Well, then, if so, what worked for me? What worked for me in achieving those goals? And how have I felt throughout the year? And then I talk about, well, what goals did I not um, accomplished? And then I ask myself, well, what were my distractions that I was not able to complete that goal? Or was it an important factor, or was it so I literally just ask myself uh, questions regarding about if I had support, what made me happy, or what gives me that genuinely happiness, right? And then I had throughout the year that I had more of a positive aspect or a negative aspect. Was there a lot of events that that happened? Were they positive? Were they more towards positive events, or were there more towards negative events? A lot of people should know their traumas, right? I also ask myself about that. Um, you're gonna always work throughout your traumas while you are in this journey. So I do ask myself, if there was an event that led into a, it probably started negative and then ended up negative, or started off negative and then ended up in a positive aspect. Whatever it is, could or may be, did it had anything to deal with any form of trauma? uh, was it triggered related? Um, and if it is an event that I recorded that practically speaking had nothing to do with me, it just so happens that I was just there. Well, that's something that I will keep in mind and I'll write about it of the event that happened. But then, I still analyze it and be like, okay, what did I do? Did I contributed it in a good perspective, or the bad perspective? Um, that I chose sides for X, Y, and Z reasons, or was I in my right to, I don't know, uh, was the person wrong? Like, I just, if it has nothing to do with me, but it just so happens that I was just there, I would still analyze and I would still look at it just to see, if maybe my old self, like, the old me may have come up or popped up, and that for me I would be like, okay, maybe I should not have, you know reacted on it, because it is, I won't say a trigger per se, um, but just this old persona that I've been working to keep behind me, just so happens that just she just popped up in that situation. So so it is something that I still look at. That I talk about my health, I talk about my spiritual journey, and then I talk about my surroundings. Do I have that support? Do I feel that I have the support? Do I feel that I have the love? So am I reciprocating the same? Now, of course, when I ask myself this question about reciprocation, it is something, right, that you will be like, well, you practically would be biased. Um, you will be quite biased if, when you ask yourself that question. For you, you're going to feel that, um, you're going to feel that you do, right? So when it comes to that question, oof, now I'm not sure. You know what? I'm not sure if I did say it in the beginning, and I'm sorry. Um, this is something that I also have my kids do, and for of course for them, I'll make it a little bit more fun because they're kids, right? So when it comes to them, I do it differently in a way that I allow them to have fun and express themselves. So when it comes to that question, um, I allow them to talk to me and express themselves. So it's not just something that I just put what I think. I would sit there and I put honestly what was I supportive towards my family. You know, uh, you know, do I feel that I portrayed the same love that they portrayed to me? And I just allow for my kids to just express themselves. And then I'll write down in my self reflection their answer. And then I'll ask them, well, what do you think I should do different? Or that I need to um, improve? For me, the relationship with my kids is very important. Um, and of course, my relationship with my husband is also important. So I just don't do it with my kids. I don't make my husband do it, um, because we're just completely different when it comes to our our practices. I am the one that do like all the self reflections, and I'm the one that that have. So I am the one that practices spirituality. He is Christian. However, we have a mutual respect for what we do. So even when I sit down with him and I ask him, hey, he's like, normally when I sit down with him and he's like, I know it's that time of the year, we have a conversation. And the thing about it is that although he does not do what I do, we have a conversation where he's just as interested as I am in knowing, have I, you know, as in a relationship, have we been, you know, where are we in a sense of our relationship? Um, have we been more understanding towards each other, or have we been going through a misunderstanding? You know, what were those misunderstandings? And we literally we just sit down and we have a conversation. So it's, for me, it's, it is looking from myself into my surroundings, but I'm also putting myself as the third person, and then I'm just allowing them to just show me, well, you think that you're doing this, but let me tell you, no, you're not. And this is why, or why I feel or think that way, or this is why I'm telling you no. And then they will sit there. If there has been a year where it was just weirdly off, then trust me, they will let me know with examples at that. So, so this is literally what I do throughout the month of September. Now, well, what happens after that? There is a part two to it, and it goes into October. October, it is the second part of reflection, and you know what? Bear with me, bear with me. So, it's a little bit. It's not something that you look deep within, because that's what you have the whole month of September to do. Okay, this is more of, okay, now what am I going to do next? So, for example, what are my next goals? Well, what goals am I keeping? What goals am I changing? Why am I changing those goals? There are times where we set goals that we just thought that it would be a good idea for the moment. However, it wasn't important enough, or it wasn't important at all, uh, to, you know, to keep up with it, or to even start to begin with. And I always put that down. Well, what was that goal? And then why I'm changing it. And it's just, be honest with yourself. You know what? I realized that it was not important, or I thought that it was a good idea and realized that it wasn't. You know, and then just go forth from there. And then, you know, then I go back to my first reflection, and then to look at what, you know, basically what worked for me, when achieving that goal. So I will go back into the second phase of it, and then I'll write down what worked for me in achieving my goal. And then I would turn around and be like, okay, what can I do different to make to make that experience better? Or what can I change, or what can I add to make it maybe smoother, or to make it effortlessly? So I just look into that. There's certain things to a point where I don't have to add or change to make that goal. Just keep in mind that the way you achieve your goal, right, or the way you set your goal to be, would be different depending on your goal. So just keep that in mind. You know, the way that you approach, for example, okay, you know what? I am not a, this is an example. I journal almost every single day. I write almost every single day. Out of the 31 days out the month, of course, with the exception of February, I would say that I write for 25, 26 days. Okay, even if it's just something minimal. Even on my bum days, there are days where my physical, my body, my heart, my soul, my mind is like, listen, you're bumming this one out today. You ain't doing shit. You're gonna. There's nothing that you need to do today. So you need to let the kids know, and you need to let the husband know you're not cooking, you're not cleaning, you're just bumming it out. It literally, it just, something about it, just, I shut down, and then that's it. So, you know, I have those moments, and when I have those days, there's nothing much to write about, but then I would still put something. I'll put my bum day. I'll put my bum day. However, because I've been doing this for a very, 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 very long time. I am very aware of my train of thoughts. So when I have those days that I bum out, I'm still aware of my train of thought. So if I'm just sitting there and let's say for example I decide to bench watch, I don't know, some show, then my full focus when I am on those bum days is my full focus is on that. That's There's nothing else more to it. But let's say I'm reading or I decide for just a moment to scroll through my phone or anything of that sort, then even though I am looking through my phone, I am still paying attention to what I'm telling myself consciously or subconsciously. Um, so it is something that if by any reason, I tell myself, well, wait, why I'm thinking about this? I'll go on my phone really quickly and just put, okay, um, had a random constant thought about this, and then I'll put in the date. If you want to put the time, you put the time. But it is something that I am very conscious of because whether you believe it or not, what runs you in your life is usually your subconscious. So whatever programs that you have running in your mind, that is what uh, has the ability to alter your state of mind, even how you feel and how you're thinking in that moment. So just keep that in mind. It's just something I want to share with you. You know, for those that be like, well, so you don't write, so you just put bum day. No, I'm still, despite of whatever it is that is going on or whatever it is that I'm not doing, one thing that I am aware of all the time is my thoughts. I've been doing this long enough where it literally is second nature to me. I just automatically do it, and it's just I just pause everything that is going on for a moment, and I just analyze what was I thinking, you know, stuff like that. Um, I ask, I ask myself that I make myself any promises. And if it was a year that it was off, I look at previously what gave me genuine happiness, and I write that down. Okay, how can I become happier or healthier, or how um, what would I do to change or better my spiritual path? And then I put here I give myself a positive affirmation for the year. This is something that to explain it here, I swear it's gonna take like another 10-15 minutes. So I don't know. I think this may be something that I may do a video for because um, it's the way I do it. It's a little bit more in depth. So let me see how I can explain it. It's the affirmation is more of a oh oh goodness, I am so sorry. I'm trying to think of the word, and for the life of me I can't think of it, but it's right there. Manifestation. Okay, manifestation. Okay, when I first started doing this particular question, my affirmation was, and it's still going in numbers, by the way. Okay, I am living in season one, or I'm living in episode one, and then I'll turn around and I write a list of that season one. Okay, is that season one is that I'm gonna take two vacations this year instead of one? Um, will I buy something that I've been wanting to buy for a long time, or what I accomplished this particular goal that for whatever reason I was not able to accomplish last year, or I was midway of accomplishing it and then it just fell off the wagon. Whatever it is, I literally write a list of my season one life. That is whether that could be career related, that could be life related, that could be family related, that could be financial related, that could be physical health. It could be about anything and everything in your life. That can include a home, a car, a pet, whatever it is that you want. Literally, all I do is I'm living in season. I am living in season one. And I'll grab that list and then I will put it where I am constantly looking at it, or where when I pass by, uh, it's literally right there. So this is one of my personal space, and I have a little notebook here where I'm always opening it up. So you see, it's this little red notebook right here. So I'm always constantly opening it up. So the first thing when I open it up, it's just right there. And I always put it, by the way, so where when I am going to open it and that I am on that blank, literally it is right in front of that blank piece of paper for whatever it is that I'm going to write on or do, because that is my spell book. And then, of course, I have another book. This is my attunement. This is my third attunement book, by the way. But then I also will have like pieces of paper in between it. So when I am going to write a new attunement, or I'm in the process of making a new attunement, um, then it opens up and then I have it here as well. Now, I am going to talk about, well, I am not a person that writes every single day. Um, is there maybe another way on days that could be able to help me organize myself a little better? So I have this, and of course, uh, you'll find your way of how you want to do it. So I have this little calendar right here, and this little calendar, I write on it. So let's say, um, it's I put like little notes, or I do what is called like little daily minimal spells, right? So I utilize that to indicate, okay, this is the type of work I did today, or um, this is what I was able to accomplish or do. So you're always welcome to use a little calendar and just put little notes. And if your notes is long enough to where it just doesn't fit, then you can just put it behind and just okay. And just make sure that you put the date there. Um, so that you know on what date it relates to. So you're always welcome to use calendars. You're always welcome to use anything at your disposal. And if you're the type of person that you don't do physical writing, but you do online journaling, then it works just as perfect as it is that you're physically writing. It's just that I am old school, and that's just the way I operate. I still love the feel of paper. Just something about it that is just, it feels amazing to me. Again, I am pretty old school. So just to give you guys an idea, I so this is one of my books that I utilize. And then in here, by the way, this is one of those one of those books that I use in a form of like manifestation. Okay. So normally this book I utilize for my form of manifestation. So my seasons one, two, three, all the way to season seven. Now I'm on season seven. But then I also have my daily prayers. So I have my Sunday prayers, and all the way to basically one for every day. And my prayers are very simple, and it's just a prayer, just a generalized prayer that I like to do. Of course, do I do it every day? No. There are days where I get up and um, I just go with I am one with the source, and I feel that gratitude and thanks. And that's a form of way of me doing the same thing, instead of just doing the prayer. So so when it comes to your journaling, for your self reflection, you can do it however you want, whether you want to do it physically or you want to do it. So this is, and if you notice, it's more or less already empty, but oh, but you see, I have it in the month of January. I know, guys, I'm little and I'm short. Then I have my, what is this, March? Ooh, I skipped February somewhere. But then, you see my March paper, my April month. So just however it is that you wish to do your journal, your book of shadows, however it is that you want to do it, just remember that it is completely up to you in regarding to your questions, how you want to set up your next goal, and so forth. So I when I do my affirmation, I will put it in places I am that I go to often. I even have one in my other office where it's literally in front of me. So when I'm doing a tarot reading, or I'm working on attunement, or I'm working on a sigil, or I'm working on a Brahmin spell or anything of that sort, it is literally right in front of me. Um, so, and it's just something constantly. I have like little sticky notes. I don't know if you noticed that there was one here, and that little sticky note, it's literally, I am living in season one. And then I just go through that list. I always take my time to take a look at that list. And it's very important for me. And then that list, when I am going into the month of October, and then it is time for me to do that affirmation, I would look at the list that I did for the year prior, and then there is whether the list becomes the same list, or the list will become less, because now maybe that one goal that I already have, I already achieved it, and now maybe I'm going into the second step into it, or maybe whatever that goal was, it's already completed, so it just sticks into just one step. Does that make sense? I don't know how this okay, let's say, right, um let's say that you had a goal to losing weight. Let's just say, for an example. So your first goal would be, right, eat healthy, eat less junk food or less sugary, whatever it is that you generally struggle with. And then, so you throughout that year, you focused you focus on your trial and errors in healthy eating. And then let's say that you finally was able to accomplish that. Yes, will you eat your little cake or your cookie? Yes, and that's completely fine. Or that you'll probably eat a chip here and there. It's completely fine. A little sugar won't kill you. And then you turn around. Okay, now you're going into season two. Now you've been eating healthy. You notice that you lost a few pounds. You notice that you feel good, you're energized, you're happy, and maybe sometime in that episode one, you started walking more. You started to just move. So now into season two, that now you already got the eating healthy aspect down packed. So now maybe in season two, you'll put, you know, I feel great. I am still eating healthy and I am working out. I don't know if you've been walking, if you've been walking, um, two times a week or whatever it is, then you want to add just one more. I'm walking 3 times a week, or now I am working out. I am doing cardio or yoga or whatever it is, right? So now you're focusing not only now that you're happy that you're eating healthy, but now you add the second phase to that, right? Now you have to work on the physical of maybe toning your body, your skin. And then once you're able to accomplish both, where one, you met your weight goal, two, you're eating healthy, three, you're exercising, well, now you can just indicate, I love and I am enjoying that I am living a healthy style. So now instead of saying you're eating healthy and you're working at an X amount a day, or that you lost 50 pounds, that all those three could be compressed into one general statement. Does that, I hope me breaking that down works out for you. So that's what I do. So right now I am going into season 7, and I am looking forward to, I am still in the process of, you know, doing my little September. And then, of course, we're walking into autumn in the next day or two. So this this year, uh, I just feel it. It's gonna be a great year for me, and I want to spread that for everyone else, and I want to continue and give out that positive feeling and that blessing towards everyone else. I mean, let's be honest. There is no such thing as, you know, your life is not always going to be full of roses, right? But you got to do what you got to do for life. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. I encourage anyone um, that is interested in doing it. You're always welcome to start small. Um, I know that I said that if there was enough time, I would talk about the month to month self reflection. However, we're already about 33 minutes in, so I don't think I'll be able to do it now. Or should I? Let me see if I could. Okay, monthly self reflection. It is, I go, for example, well, I can't say it now for September because I'm doing the whole year's worth. Okay, let's say for next month, October. For next month, October, I will sit down and I would do a quick reflection of my September. I would do a quick reflection of my goals, right? Well, I have this one particular goal of being a little bit more present in my kids' school. I am present in my kids' life when it comes to their academics and their goals, but I've always been more of doing it at home. And this year, I promised myself that I will be more involved into their school. When I say their school, I am talking about um, that I I'm not sure if any other state they have it, but for example, like PTA, right? I've always been involved in my kids' school life in a sense of my daughter has been in chorus for a few years. So, of course, whenever they are going to perform, you're right, I'm there. I'm always going to be there to support my child. But the way I am saying that I'll be more involved into school when it comes to my kids is the meetings that they have with parents in regarding to what's going on in the schools and children. They do events where they do like roller skating or picnics, and what all that does is that it's maybe for them it's a form of a charity work, for whether it is to support the school or to support kids in need or and stuff like that. Usually I don't do it's it's nothing personal. It's just that I've never been that kind of person. So for me, when my daughter used to tell me, "Mom, they're going to roller skate, and I want to go," and then I'm looking at the piece of paper, and it's like, "Baby, but I don't do this," and she's like, "I know." So, and although I can see the disappointment look on her face, although it bothers me, it's a comfort to me in a sense of I don't want to put myself I am very sensitive when it comes to energies. So I don't want to involve myself where I am surrounded by too many people and that I'm also being surrounded by a lot of kids, because my energy and my aura, there's sometimes where when there's a lot of strong emotions, especially in children, by the way, it intends to overwhelm me. I don't have social anxiety or anything of that sort. It's just that the type of work that I do and have done throughout the years, I've always it's the chaotic energy in me and wanting to kind of help everybody else out. And if I could take, whatever it is that is stressing you out or that is putting you in a bad state of mind, then how can I help you for you to get better? And I kind of pick all that energy up. So, just to give you an example, um, so for the month of October, I will analyze into the goals for September. And I mainly focus on my goals. I want to make sure that I am on the track of that goal, and if I'm starting that goal or if I'm continuing that goal. And then I do for November, I'll take a look at October and I just look at it briefly. I look at my goal. Okay, well, I said I was going to do this. What did I achieve it? Of course, you can do self-reflection with anything else. That just my month to month self-reflection is my goal. I'm very self goal oriented. So for me, what I set myself to do, it's like it's a must because there's a reason for that goal, and that goal is important to me. Of course, not all goals, not all goals become important. There's some goals that I'd be like, I don't know why I even put that there. What was I thinking when I put that there? So that's basically all it is. Made it short enough. Well, guys, again, I do want to thank you for uh, taking the time and listening through my rambling and through this lovely video. And I do hope that it serves a really good purpose. Again, thank you and peace and blessings. And I'll see you guys in another video.